And new tonight, the nurses and doctors at University Hospital sit down together for the first time since the Aurora theater shooting, sharing their stories with 7 News reporter Russell Haythorn. And as they tell it, 140 doctors and nurses received an emergency page in the early hours of July 20th, and within 15 minutes, they went to action, saving dozens of lives.
And 314 for a shooting at Century Theaters. I got people running out of the theater, they're shot.
There are moments
one of the doctors like, get back in there, I don't know what's going on.
when uncertainty can be staggering.
My pager stated mass shooting, that's all it said on there.
That was my oh my God moment.
I saw patients all over the hallways in beds. I saw staff that were covered in blood because they were pulling patients out.
But in those moments, the best in humanity rises.
Once patients started arriving, it was really just, you didn't have time to reflect, you just had time to act.
Good trumps evil.
Everybody was very professional, very kind of committed and determined to provide great care. Everybody worked great together.
This is the group that put lives back together that fateful night 7 months ago.
We actually got to make it a little bit better.
To be clear, it was chaotic. Police officers acting quickly rushed victims to hospitals, not by ambulance, but in their patrol units. This was the ambulance bay outside University Hospital shortly after the shooting.
Went from life support to tubing someone's chest to holding someone's intestines.
I called the command center and I said, I need some nurses down here right now.
I mean, this is an unspeakably horrible thing.
Yet despite the chaos, it was under control. Victims were in good hands. These hands.
There was one little girl who I will always remember. Both her parents had been shot, and the little girl was crying for her mom. And I just went up to her and I said, you know, I'm a mom. If you want to come to me, I'll hold you. And she completely came to me and wrapped her little arms around me.
Both parents survived.
And I hugged the mom and I just said to her, I'm so happy that your family's okay.
And them being okay, I think it's really good to replace the memory in my mind of someone with multiple gunshot wounds to their head with what I saw 2 weeks later, which is people smiling and eating Starbursts and walking around the floor and getting ready to go home. Like, that's pretty cool.
What happened that night certainly took its toll.
I have some very tough days, unfortunately.
It's definitely the hardest thing I've had to go through in my entire life.
Dr. Avery McKenzie was only in her 3rd week of residency.
I probably have already worked the hardest shift of my entire career.
Yet long after the physical exhaustion has passed, the emotional wounds remain fresh.
It was really hard and it affected our staff.
A lot.
You don't forget it, unfortunately.
Newtown was difficult because it kind of flashes you right back to it.
22 gunshot victims came through these doors that night. Doctors didn't lose a single one of them.
Extremely proud.
Words can't describe it.
Beyond words. Beyond words.
In that moment of uncertainty, these doctors and nurses stepped up.
There are very hard aspects of it and sad aspects of it, but I feel overall we help a lot of people, and that's the part that I love.
I feel really good about the decision that I made to go into emergency medicine, and I would make it again in a second.
Amazing people. And ongoing counseling is available to doctors and nurses and staff. And of the support staff called in, there were 11 additional surgeons, 12 residents, 25 nurses, 8 blood bank workers, and the list goes on. And many of them will be honored by the American Red Cross next week.